Welcome to the lab. My name's Corey. Today, we're going to do my year in review. I'm coming up on having had my channel for a whole year now, and I figured it would be a good time to end the year with a video that covered everything that I've worked on so far, and talk about them and what I hope to do with this channel in the future, maybe? I don't know. We'll see where this chat goes. I just figured it'd be a good idea to review what I've done for the past year and share it with you guys and talk about it. We're going to start with some of the most recent things that I've done, just because I can't present them to you on this table. That's why I pulled this table out. And because one of them I'm in the middle of right now. So the first one I can't present to you, hopefully you've seen it on my channel, is my bits box that I've mounted to the wall here. That was a project that took me a half of a day to put up and sort through some stuff and put it in there. Not really much more to say about that. I'm not super handy with tools and construction, so that one did frustrate me here and there, but I'm really happy with how it came out. I can't show it to you because it's over there. I mean, I could pick up the camera, but I could also just say, hey, go look at the video. You've seen where I put it. It's right there. The other one is the Gundam that I built. Loved that project. Huge time sink, but also super enjoyable. It's currently dissected on my bench right now. I am going through and trying to scribe in new lines to add more details. So far, I've done so somewhat with the shield. I've added in some lines here. That's probably going to take me several more hours, but right now I'm dealing with some crunch time at work, under a lot of stress there, and my creative juices just haven't been flowing. I'm sure you all know how stress goes, especially with last year being COVID and everything, that it just adds up and adds up and adds up sometimes. Don't really want to get into that too much right now because it's not anything that I'm upset about. Work that needs to be done. I'm doing my best to get it done, but it's just sapping energy from me, and that mixed with some of the other stuff that's going on right now, I just haven't had time for that, mentally or physically. But things that I can present to you. Well, let's break out everything that I've got over here so far so that I can move this table back as we go. I'm just going to shift this table over for a little bit right now so I can access this shelf down here. My bonfires. These guys. Gosh, I love these guys. So far, I've used none of the stuff that I've made in any games. I would love to, but it's, again, about finding time. These guys bring me so much joy. Honestly, probably in my top 5 projects of the year. Maybe we'll rank these. That's what we're going to do. We're going to rank these and how I felt about them. So far, number 1. We'll keep the top 3 spots right here. These were super enjoyable to build. They were quick to knock out. I mean, how these came together just bring me so much joy. And I can't wait to put these on a battlefield someday, hopefully soon, and use them. So far, this is the number 1 spot. We'll shift these. You're viewing me. We're going to have number 1 be here, 2 and 3, and as we lay stuff out, I'm just going to push it off to the side here. You know what? No, never mind. We're going to go backwards, because everything else is going to sit over here. It's going to be 1, 2, and 3. Right now, this is the top dog, just because it's the first thing I've presented, but it's going to be up there. The gates to my graveyard, or any gate, really. These have held together quite well. I've had to move these around a lot. So durability, still really good. I don't really grab them by one. I either grab them by both or this middle piece here because, well, you see how it flexes. You don't want that to bend. still really happy with the braziers on top. I like these better than the rest themselves. I know they're a set. Let's pull these out. I made all of these graveyard walls. These were 3 different projects, all to design a system to build graveyard walls. You didn't see them. Basically how they work is these are structured so that you can put a pillar up next to one of these walls, and it looks like, hey, they're part of the same thing. So if you have a couple of these together, like so, they don't look unnatural. You can build all kinds of different shapes with these, obviously, if it's a rectangular shape. And obviously you can, you know, make them go deep like this. And for the gate, you would take away 2 pillars and put the gate there instead. Separately, they wouldn't rank that high. Obviously, I really like the gate. They're gonna rank higher for me than the walls themselves. Together as one project, I think they're really cool, including, especially if you include all of these graveyard plots that I made. I've randomized a bunch of muddy, desolate, or unkempt, I should say, graveyard plots that you can put down on the battlefield. I made these to go thematically along with the vampire stuff. Most of my train builds this year, most of them, not all of them, have had my vampire army in mind as I've made them. I know one of the rulings, I haven't gone over many of the rulings, I know one of the rulings is that the vampire army I have, some of the guys, I can designate like an area on the battlefield to be a pile of bodies that I can resurrect people from, get more hordes of guys. And I thought these would be a good marker if I put a few of these down in the area that's allotted on the table to resurrect figures from. I mean, it's a graveyard, right? So maybe put some of these walls down, put the area inside of it. Thematically, it made sense. Right now, these are gonna take the number 2 slot. I do not like them as much as I love these bonfires, but I do like them a lot. They're just visually interesting to look at on the table. Ladders. I just did these last week. Made 5 ladders for Frostgrave or any game that has leveled terrain that you can rest up against and say, hey, I'm going to climb up that. Again, visually interesting. If you were to add in on the table what something like this would actually look like, I think it's visually interesting and looks good. Like, hey, I'm moving this fence here. Put something like this on the table. Give people different accesses over different areas. Looks great. Individually, as a singular project, not my favorite. So right now, I think this gate is number 3. These ladders, probably number 4. They're gonna go over there for now. Gate's definitely higher up. I've got a whole bunch of these modular ruin walls. I'm gonna rank these. One thing also I'm not gonna be able to present to you is the modular like forest and plains area that I made, because that was a commission for somebody, so they own that product. If you would like to watch that, it's one of the first videos that I put up on this channel. I think this gate is more visually interesting and I enjoy it mostly because of the fire. Ruins are definitely going to drop. I'm gonna say I like the ruins better than the graveyard walls and pillars. Ruins are better. So ruins are going to take the 4 slot, graveyard walls 5th. I still like this as 3rd because of the fire interesting. Anytime I can add color to a product, and I know I could add color to these as well, but they're just... I made them at a time where I wasn't missing color as much in stone and rock formation. And I wanted them to stay cool colors because of it being a Frostgrave thing. And there's lots of excuses there that I told myself because I was scared to put coloring on some of this stuff. It's silly, but that's how I did it. So that's where these stand. So for that reason, these don't take third spot. I mean, their versatility is, man, turning these into like a rundown building. Nah, I think the flames are more fun. Top 3 so far. Bits. I made bits. I made potions. And I made swords. I think they are still in my bit box. Not that box. This box. Potions. I forgot. I did potions. I was gonna grab a couple because there's so many. Torches. Come on. I'm gonna grab a couple torches. I'm gonna grab a torch. Still have like 20 torches. And swords. I made a ton of swords. I'm gonna grab a couple of these as well. I have way more fun building bits than I do building other things. Honestly, I think when I look at it, making me the most happy, these potions are going to take number 3. I think swords are going to take 4. Torch is probably below this gate. I did have a lot of fun putting this gate together. Being able to tap into some of my reserve items, like this necklace chain, is what, and these toothpick and stuff here, and making these braziers out of random trash and hot glue, really what elevates this for me. Like, I really enjoyed this build specifically a hell of a lot. I think I enjoyed these more just because of how quick they are and how good they look when they're done. So there's a mixture of factors here, as you can tell, of enjoyment to build, enjoyment to look at. They're both colliding when I'm trying to judge. So I'm leveling them out, I'm averaging them, I'm figuring like, okay, I enjoyed this build, I enjoy looking at these things. If I add them together, you know, where does that fall? I didn't enjoy building these as much as I did these, but I enjoy looking at the gravestones, I think, more. The grave sites more than these potions. Nah. I'm gonna go with my gut here. Potions number 2. Wow, where do I go next? Let's go with these. Magical scroll bridges. I enjoy these more than these, to be honest. Graveyard plots going away. These were a fun build. I had a very good time coming up with the creative reason on like how to make these. That, and I got to mix my friends' artworks together to make these different, interesting magical scrolls. This one, mine, clearly. But these, between my buddy Jake, guy on TV, who streams on Twitch, and Kai, Savage Dragon Studios. You'll find her on Twitter, I believe. She makes amazing art. Just super interesting. She made this one. Jake made this one. These two I made. Personally, more of a fan of this one than this one, because I'm not happy with this scribblingness, but this looks more natural as a scroll that just randomly embiggened that you can cross. Love these guys. Frostgrave trade. Lo and behold, stuff that I've made for Frostgrave, I'm enjoying more than the stuff that I made specifically, or well, not specifically, but more geared towards Warhammer. Go figure, right? Painting challenge that I did with Emily's brother and his brother. We'll lump all these together because we painted all of these at the same time. Some of these are, obviously, I only painted like 3 or 4 of these. We each did 3 or 4 models, maybe 5. For random monsters to appear and drop in on random games, and more specifically for Grape. A lot of fun. The time that I spent with them, where we were goofing around having a good time and painting these all day. Do they rank above these scrolls? Not really. The enjoyment from looking at these is still a little less than the scrolls. But I do enjoy these. These probably collectively are taking 4th place right now. These stakes. Gosh, I love these. These pikes. I don't have much to say about these other than I love them. Made out of foam with sand and glue. Long toothpick. I bought a box of like $25, $30 zombies that I then tore apart to impale on these. Used some skulls out of the Warhammer Skulls box. These are so enjoyable. Add so much character to a battlefield. Definitely above the scrolls. I think still lower than the potions. I just take so much pleasure from looking at those potions. Number 3, collectively, right now, Albino Dragon statue that I got with some playing cards when I backed one of their Kickstarters. Painted it up this year using only airbrushes. Only airbrushes. I like this thing so much from the color choices and the enjoyment I got from learning how to use my new airbrushes. This model is what I used my Badger airbrushes on for the first time. Just for that, I think it's taking 3rd spot. From the amount of pleasure I got from using those brushes versus the Master's brush that I have, which is okay, but it just clogs. So we had that discussion. Clogs so much. Does this take 3rd place here? The fun I had coming up with these. And I'm really proud of these because I saw at least 2 other people, when I shared these around online, respond that I had inspired them to make their own set. And they shared their pictures with me. And I am very proud of these. Just for that reason alone. That was the whole reason I made this channel. That is the whole reason I made this channel. Ugh. Magnetized boxes. For mini. They're more of a utility than anything else. I do smile when I look at them. They're very helpful. They're probably even further down the list. They're probably below the trees, because at least the trees I look at and they do bring me joy in seeing how they've come together and look like trees. These are just storage boxes. Now let's talk about what's inside these storage boxes. All of Cursed City. I think I built these. Pretty sure I built these for a project one week. Or at least finished them off. I haven't even had a chance to play Cursed City. With COVID having happened, just nobody's schedule's lining up. I haven't been able to get friends together to play Cursed City. So, they look cool. Lower on the list. Below everything on the table currently. Above the boxes. Above the trees. Except for Radikar. He was a fun experiment, man. And I tried my hardest on painting him. And I was so scared about messing him up when I tried to tint him to make him look like it was nighttime. Radicar, I'm going to separate from the rest of these guys. They're going to... Gosh, I literally have run out of room on the table. We're going to sit over here for now. Radicar. I think painting Radicar was more satisfying than the enjoyment that these pipes give me. I might have to break my rule and actually take some of the stuff off the table. Alright. First, Radicar is, I think, going to take second. I think Radicar has to take second. Really proud of him. And looking at him just makes me smile. So, there we go. First, second, third so far. Yes. Third. Maybe first? No. The lights are just so much fun in these, and they were so quick to make. First, second, third. This isn't about pride. It's about overall enjoyment. I'm trying to weigh a lot of factors. That's why you're hearing me talk and go all over the place. Because my thoughts are going a million miles a minute when I pick one of these up. It's, hey, where does this fall for me on enjoyment? And I have a lot to consider when that is happening. Other minis. I can't remember whether or not I built all of these on or even painted these on. I know I painted these skeleton boys. I'm gonna keep a lot of these in boxes unless they take up one of the top 3 places. I'm gonna leave them in these boxes. This guy I did not paint on my channel, but this is the first mini I have ever painted. Love this guy. He's staying in here. Painted him about 1.5 years ago. Purple vampire armor. Painted him recently. God, he looks so cool. Honestly, I know he wasn't a. I'm really proud of Radicar. I'm really proud of Radicar. Worked really hard on him. Didn't work as hard on this guy. I like this guy more. Just looking at him. Yeah. I think that's where they fall. I painted this guy on as a project. So this is the assassin that I painted. My wolves. Pack of wolves. The green eyes are what really would make me like these guys. Otherwise, I don't like these guys as much as my other minis. I enjoy, that doesn't mean I don't enjoy these. Everything I've shown you, I enjoy to some extent. I'm just trying to rank my favorite of those. Feels weird. Feels weird ranking them. But somewhere around the skeleton group area is where I would rank these wolf puppers. Spent a lot of time on them. Enjoy them tremendously. Not as much as these 3 here. Potions is obviously number 4-ish. Actually, now that these guys have been knocked, I'm going to put the potions back in the box so I don't lose them. I think I'm coming down to the last thing that I've made this year. You guys have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this guy took up 2 weeks of projects, two different projects. My Monster Bash. I have to give this guy first place. This guy was such an extreme flow of the creative process and learning of new techniques and abilities and mediums to experiment in. I know he is not part of any gaming. but it doesn't matter. This guy's first place. The amount of feedback I got from him, being able to interact in a like community event. I haven't done that since. I really want to. This was just so very enjoyable. The combination of all the fluorescent colors, the glow-in-the-dark things, creating my own monster out of prompts. He's gross, he's funny, he's surreal. I love surreal art. Number 1. Man. Hard to think about just how much you do in a year's time, especially when it comes to a hobby that you're enjoying. But looking at this, it's making me feel a little better about what I've accomplished this year. It's honestly some of the coolest stuff that I've ever done. Ever. Considering that I started this hobby about 2 years ago, in the winter of 2019. Accomplishing so much in such a shorter time inspires myself, honestly. Looking at this right now makes me so happy and excited for where this year is going to go. And this isn't even everything. Again, I still got the Gundam up there. Granted, the next 2 parts of it come next year, the modifying and painting of it. Next year. Next month, hopefully. Next year. They're just not part of my first year of content. The building of the Gundam was, and the shelf was. But there you have it. Bit of a self-reflection video for myself. I hope you're okay with that. I know it's not something I'm presenting to you guys this time. It's more of recataloging and appreciating where I'm at with this hobby. Like I said, I've been a little bit of a slump recently, creatively and energetically, if you can't tell from me having to cut because I have to cut out so many yawns in this video. Just piling all this up like this just feels good. Oops, there goes one. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe. If you'd like to catch any of my future videos, make sure you hit that notification bell. And until next time, experiment with your hobby.